I knew I was in trouble when I got to the yard this morning and the B-double's still hooked up behind my truck.
What do you see when there are no words?
Monday will have you back.
Feel a song that's never been heard.
Hear that roar of thunder. Hear those tires scream. Is every boy's hero, every lady's dream. Flying down highway heading west in a streak of black light called the Bandit Express. Look out, the bandit's coming, tires screaming, engine humming. Looks like the bandit's on the move. Look out, the bandit's coming, bet your money and warn no women. Tell those smokies all to take a rest, 'cause they'll never get the Bandit Express.
Hello, truckie and truckette fans around the world. Brad here, back for another instalment of Aussie Truckie on Highway 31. Well, should I rebrand into Getting Into Trucking 101, brought to you by Heavy Rigid? I woke up Saturday morning to a missed call from work. Bring them back. What do you want to do Monday? We've got the rigid straight run to Hume and back, or the single with Fishwick and Mitchell. No brainer. Express, please. So luckily, because I fueled the truck on Friday, it was still full, so I haven't had to stop for fuel this morning. So we got up here early. We're getting out of here early, being 6:30, and we're already heading home. Only problem with this now is I had a 15-minute break there, but I'm going to have 15 minutes somewhere else along the way. But it might be one of the quickest turnaround times I've ever had up here, which is good. So, that sort of works. Not as good as the pull down one. How are we going? Video 46. Back into rigid. We did put 6 boxes on for the Jugiong bakery or cafe, which is probably a good thing, because I do want to do something in a little bit in the Jugiong area, so pulling off there will be a help. Freight seems slow, and now that I've said yeah, I'll take the rigid, this might be an ongoing thing for a little bit until we start getting the build up to Christmas. So if you are here for the big trucks, the big Volvos, let's face it, no one's here for the Volvo, but if you are here for that, nah, double, mate. You might want to just check out the thumbnail at the start of the video. If it's got a photo of the rigid there, chances are there's not going to be a big truck involved this week or that week. But again, I say big truck, it's a Volvo 450 heavy rigid. I'm guessing that 450 equals horsepower, like the 600 does on the side of the big Volvo, which still 450 horsepower, if that's what it does mean for a little rigid getting around. Geez, semis and doubles weren't having that kind of power until the mid 80s. Once you started getting your I think you had to fuel the 3408 cats up to get over 500, but anyway, there was a very long time in the history of trucking in Australia where if you had 400 horsepower, you're the king, especially in that jump from petrol powered engines, the old straight sixes in the Dodgers and Internationals, and I should have pre-planned this, and yeah, moving into your Cummins, your Perkins, all of that stuff. This joint's always got a line up going into it. That security gate is not a good system, especially when people can't get in like that again. Anyway, because I knew I was going to be in this truck, I was able to prepare for it with got a power bank, got some extra batteries for the cameras, and yeah, brought a packed lunch today instead of having to worry about me 12-volt oven not working. Also should mention, I'm not going to say this is a short one ever again, because every time I say that I still get over an hour of footage to edit down for the video. So while this may be a shorter one because of the shorter day, I might find something to juice it. We'll juice the video a bit longer. But anyway, that's it for Canberra. As I said, we got Jugiong Bakery to stop off at on the way home, and something to do before then. So we might cut to some driving, and we'll pick it back up on an old section of Highway 31. Something now that I cannot do in the semi, being so big. Off to our left now is an old section of the Hume Highway. It starts off the Bookham's Road, well that's called Bookham's Road, just after Whitefields Road. We're about halfway between Jugiong and Bookham. The old section of the Hume here, pretty heavily overgrown. It's one of the last sections that hasn't been covered in dirt and used or retaken by the local farmers, acting as a service road, which means it's open. It should be open. It's on the map as being open. I did miss the first entrance at Bookham's Lane, so we couldn't come in that way, but we've missed the first probably 3 Ks. This is the start of what they used to call the Seven Sisters. 7 little rises in the road up over the hills like this that ends at Reedy Creek and then on the Steamroller Hill. They just last week there was some piles of dirt on the road here that they've removed, which is a good thing because we're going to get to the rubbish heap down the road here a little bit further. But this being an open road to the public still, if there is any fatality or any incidents out on the Hume and the Hume shut, this is your plan B route, which means it should be well kept. All the trees should be cut back in case you're going to have B-doubles going down here again and everything else. But as the sign suggests, there are gates along here that obviously close if there's cattle grazing the road or something, so I'm just going to be careful and creep down here and not go flat out like they used to back in the day. But it's probably just off the top of my head thinking now, except for the Bona Road deviation, which I've taken you on down past the old boomerang factory. One of the only sections of the old Hume that's still intact and can drive on it, but isn't an approach or exit from town. So you'd have fun coming down here in a B-double. Funny rabbit. It's tight. section for a while, but it is not something you want to do in the semi, just in case something happens to the little turny up there. I can go out to in this if I needed to. The one we're going to go to at the very end, if I don't go too far, is pretty steep too, which you'd never get a semi up. Another gate. That's going to hit the top, yep, bang bang. Trim those branches back. Also too, preparing for a vehicle be coming the other direction in case. But even though a lot of this timber would have been cut well back in the day, it's still a pretty tight little road. You imagine trucks flying off the end of 50, 60 mile an hour, trying to beat that time crunch. I bet they rattle like this one does too. Another gate here. Lock on. Now this should be our... No, still one more hill to go over, one more sister. As a dump for old wash machines, fridges and all that sort of stuff, but this is where we're going to exit it here. One more rise there, then the hill down to Breedy Creek and on to Steamroller Hill. I've called that now obviously. And this is us, so you'd have no hope of getting the single over here. I don't even know if these cattle grids are rated for a rigid, let alone a single, but look, we're going to keep going here because there's only one car coming. Back on the Hume. So yeah, something I've wanted to do for a little while, but not wanting to do it in the semi and don't really want to drive my car up here all the way just to do it. And then it would have gone up over the top of the hill there. And I say down onto the new alignment, but it doesn't really. It goes through the parking bay, then swings off to the left over the old bridge. It's still there, but now he's on private property and you can't drive on. Anyway, next stop Bookham. No, it's not. Next stop's Jugiong. So not quite, let me turn that off, turn the truck off. Not quite Bookham, why do I keep saying Bookham? Not quite Jugiong adjacent. We have pulled off the highway at Jugiong. I've been meaning to come in here. I've stopped a couple of times back in the day, more so for the parking bay than the service station. The mobile service station here, drive past it all the time when I come into town. It's just been repainted and seems to be rebranded into Sunrise, unless that's something that mobile service stations are doing. But the billboard on the Hume has the little food icon, so I thought I might stop since I need to juice this video a little bit more and just see what food they've actually got in there. And may as well check the coffee situation out as well, instead of having to stop at Tarcutta or pay too much down here at the bakery. So I'm going to go over here and I'll have a look and see what they got in store. Coffee machine's out. No coffee.
Oh, it's out of the milk powder and it makes.
Ah, rightio.
I'm afraid.
That's right. I'll call next time.
Sorry.
You're right. All good. Thank you. I must say, only having 2 steps to climb up instead of 3 is definitely a improvement. Something I will not falter. The littler truck. Sadly, coffee machine was out of order. It is just a coffee machine. There isn't an actual cafe in there. And the food is your basic bain-marie stuff, pies, sausage rolls, anything that's in a package. So it's packaged bain-marie or pie warmer fare, which is a shame. But in saying that too, yeah, imagine how busy they are. There's normally a caravan stopped in there when I come past. You've got the rec grounds down here that are pretty busy with caravanners, but they tend to just go across the road to the long track bakery anyway, pantry. So that's unfortunate. What is with Volvos and seat rattle? That's why these are in most of the time, not for bloody listening to the music, but for noise cancellation. Because it'd make you go crazy. A heap of caravans in there again. All corralled. So, there's 2 cars in there this time. I was going to drive in there again, but although I'm not a big truck, I'm still not a little one. Well, they're parked in the middle. I better back in. I don't know where the hazard lights are on this truck, so we're not going to use it. You don't seem to get as many looks in the little truck as you do on the big one. Although last week when I was here, there was a kid watching me unload, with a big smile on his face, seeing the truck, seeing the little big truck, the big little truck, however you want to phrase it. But we might be able to back all the way around here. Without getting hung up. Maybe. Bridge. back as far this time either, just so I can reach the bloody boxes in the back of the truck. Jugiong bakery done. I've got to stay away from that big peppercorn tree limb there, because that will make a mark if I hit it. Yeah, okay. You just don't get the looks in the little truck as you do in the big one. When you pull across the road there and block the road and back in, they take notice. Come on. I don't know if I mentioned last week too, but it seems the littler the trucks get, the bigger the mirrors get. These side mirrors on this are probably a good 2 inches wider than what are on the bigger semi, and it just, with that plus the dirty wind deflector and that there, it just makes it really hard to see through. But I'm going to send it up Jugiong Hill southbound. That's probably going to be it now until we get back to base. I've only got one pelt to pull off, but it might actually be a short video. Time will tell. Yes, alas, back to Tarcutta for a sneaky coffee, but no food today. One thing I didn't mention last week, having the esky between the seats. The newer trucks, they got rid of the hump between the seats for the most part. Not since the last company I was driving, or that had trucks, having to do some work in them. The old Aerodynamic G-cabs, having to sit your esky up on top of the big hump between the between the seats and the Kenworth, and you nearly had to keep your hand on it just because it'd be bouncing around, it'd be trying to slide off, it'd be going all over the place. I know some blokes put a bit of marine ply down and made an actual shelf for their fridges and eskies to go on, but I wasn't in the truck anywhere near long enough to warrant anything like that. While this hasn't jumped off, it does like to slide that way if we go around the corner too quick. So anyway, it's a shame. I see the sandwich board out the front of the pub there in Tarcutta again, saying the kitchen's open. The pub itself was closed for the longest time. They've got someone in there to buy it, doing lunches and that, but I never see a car parked out in front. It's a shame. They've got a big reserve area behind the pub and behind the amp hole there that sometimes you might have a caravan camping there, or you might have people run their dogs around out there, but it doesn't offer anything more than Jugiong. You've still got a cafe there if you want to do your fine dining stuff. You've got the pub there, and you've got the fuel station all there within walking distance of where you can camp. So it's a shame. I hope the night traffic's a lot better, I'll just say that. But anyway, that bloody rattle there is worse than that one there, because that only happens when I hit a bump. This one here, it's that wind deflector, or windshield, wind guard, whatever you call them, smoker's guard on the window there. It's the very back where it touches the door, and just, if you can hear it, top gear. It doesn't do it at low Ks, and you crack the window down and it stops because it must stop forcing the air up through the hollow there, but then you got the wind noise in your ear, so. Anyway, we are a couple of hours, an hour and a bit north of home, so we'll head on south and get this pellet off, and that'll be today done. Express run on Highway 31. That's us done for another week. I don't know if this is going to continue on a weekly basis. We'll see what the freight does. It's got to pick up so I can get me single back, but I didn't realise until after I got back last week, asking about the truck, and it's just had a brand new motor, intercooler, turbo, and that sort of jazz done to it because it threw a leg out of bed on the way to Wagga there a couple of weeks ago, so she's fresh, 1.6 and fresh apart from the rattles. But I must say it's handy having only half a trailer worth of with curtains to open and being able to get around. So Brad from the future, that outro didn't go the way I wanted to, so I'm going to do it again. I've been joking with the rattles. Everything's got a rattle. Been joking with the warehouse at Hume up there in Canberra that the next time they'll see me, I'll probably be in a high ace if freight keeps dropping off. Don't have high aces here. They've got a couple of old VW vans, but they've also got a fleet of new or near new Ford Transits, a couple of long wheelbase ones that can take 2 pallets. So we'll see what happens. That might be a bloody cushy trip to Canberra in the back of a, or in a new Transit, but we can only hope. So I hope you enjoyed. That's it, another video on Highway 31. Thank you channel members for your support, donations. It does mean a lot. All the details down in the join tab of the page, the site, YouTube, whatever you want to call it. What else is there? The YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, all that sort of thing. And maybe next week I'll have my truck back. We'll have a single. We'll see what happens. Yeah, anyway, until next week guys, I've been Brad and I'll see you then.